The guard. A guard stood watch over the tomb of Jesus. This was the Jewish temple police. Matthew 27 verses 65 to 66. Pilate said to them, "You have a guard of soldiers. Go with them. Make a tomb as secure as you know how." So they went and made the tomb secure, and along with stationing a guard of soldiers to be on watch, they set a seal on the stone. We read, "Command that the tomb be made secure. You have a guard. Make it as secure as you know how." This demonstrates that both the Jewish leaders and the Romans were well aware of the necessity to guard the tomb, and that they took all necessary measures to secure it. These security precautions served only to provide further evidence of the miraculous nature of the resurrection. If the tomb of Jesus was not guarded, it is possible that the body of Jesus was taken by an unknown person or persons, and it would be difficult to disprove this theory. However, due to the fact that the tomb was so carefully watched over, we are able to be certain that his body was not taken. "You have a guard," was Pilate's promise to supply a Roman guard. The tomb was secured by a guard, which was an obstacle of human strength. A typical Roman guard had 4 soldiers. While the others rested, the other 2 kept watch. This guard may have had more. The soldiers would have everything they needed to fight, including a sword, shield, spear, dagger, and armor. It is important to keep in mind that these individuals were Roman soldiers. They didn't care about Jesus or Jewish laws or rituals. They were called to secure the tomb of somebody they thought was a criminal. To them, the only sacred thing at this tomb was the Roman seal, because if that were broken, their careers were ruined and they might be executed themselves. Each member was responsible for 6 square feet of space. The guard members could not sit down or lean against anything while they were on duty. If a guard member fell asleep, he was beaten and burned with his own clothes, but he was not the only one executed. The entire 16-man guard unit was executed if only one of the members fell asleep while on duty. The religious leaders felt secure. Because of these precautions, the religious rulers felt secure that the excitement around Jesus would soon subside. Jesus lay dead in the tomb, and his frightened disciples had scattered and gone into hiding. As a result, they thought they had won. The event that changed the world. But that was not the end of the story. According to the Bible, a group of women went to the tomb early on Sunday morning to anoint Jesus' body. It was no longer possible to find the body because the stone had been moved, the seal had been broken, and the body was gone. Luke 24 verses 4 to 6, New King James Version. "And it happened as they were greatly perplexed about this, that behold, 2 men stood by them in shining garments. Then, as they were afraid and bowed their faces to the earth, they said to them, 'Why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but is risen. Remember how he spoke to you when he was still in Galilee.' They went back to tell the other disciples, who at first did not believe their report. It was Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary, the mother of James, and the other women with them who told these things to the apostles, and their words seemed to them like idle tales, and they did not believe them." Luke 24 verses 10 to 11. However, they were convinced to look for themselves, and like everyone else, they discovered that the tomb was empty. This caused them confusion. The commotion ended when the resurrected Christ first appeared to Mary Magdalene, then to a few other women, and lastly to the disciples. Jesus ascended into heaven after spending 40 days with his disciples. 10 days later, the disciples publicly proclaimed to all Jerusalem and to the world the fact that Jesus Christ had risen from the dead. Although the religious leaders experienced a sense of satisfaction when they handed Jesus over to Pontius Pilate to be crucified, they did not forget the prophecy that Jesus had made regarding his resurrection after death. None of these obstacles mattered. They are all destroyed in his presence. The resurrected Jesus is able to overcome physical barriers that stand in his way. Human authority doesn't stand before the resurrected Jesus. When compared to the power of the resurrected Jesus, human strength is nothing.